metals which can be found on Earth, by far the grouping which has the most unusual occurrences are platinum group elements, which include this grouping of 6 elements. For example, let's look at the fascinating elements of platinum and palladium. Both of these elements are more common than gold in the Earth's crust, yet platinum group elements are much more rare to find in concentrations high enough to mine for a profit than gold. This is why there are 127 active gold mines in the United States, and yet only 2 mines which produce platinum or palladium. These 2 mines can be found within the state of Montana at the East Boulder Mine and more famous Stillwater Mine. Altogether, these mines produce around 475,800 ounces of palladium and 134,200 ounces of platinum each year. For those who are not aware, platinum ore bodies are generally quite weird, which, instead of occurring in a large solidified magma chamber or the altered rock above it, which could be hundreds of meters to more than a kilometer thick, instead occur in very low intrusions which are both narrow and thin. For example, at the Stillwater Mine Complex, the main target zone for platinum and palladium mining is a 24.9 mile or 40 kilometer long layered 2.7 billion year old igneous intrusion, which is generally only 6.9 feet or 2.1 meters wide and only 7.9 feet or 2.4 meters thick. There are 2 competing models which attempt to explain how such a weird intrusion can form, which are colloquially referred to as sinkers and floaters. I was asked by a previous employee of this mine which model I thought was correct. Before I state my conclusion, let us look further into the exact ore body. While this long and thin ore body does contain some distinct platinum and palladium ore minerals such as bragite and sphaerolite, these are all minority sources of the valuable elements. As instead, most of the platinum and palladium occur as inclusions within or around the 3 sulfide minerals which are pyrrhotite, chalcopyrite, and pentlandite. In each of these minerals, the amount of platinum and palladium within them might be as high as 5% by weight. Altogether, this creates an average grade of 15 to 20 grams of platinum and palladium per ton of ore. However, the intrusion which formed this vast ore body wasn't so thin. Rather, the thin 2.4 meter thick ore body merely represents a singular lower layer in a much thicker intrusive rock that formed, being largely composed of what is known as a cumulate rock. Cumulate rocks can form due to density sorting, where lower density crystals can rise to the top of a magma chamber, while higher density crystals can sink to the bottom of a magma chamber. Crystallization may also occur along the walls of a body of magma as the wall rock is colder than the warmer body of magma, with minerals crystallizing in situ, that is, against the wall rock without being remobilized. During in situ crystallization, occasional sulfide minerals are emplaced, with the sulfide minerals subsequently sucking the elevated platinum, palladium, and rhodium in the comatite magma which is naturally enriched in these 3 elements, placing them into and around the crystals. Thus, the whole floater and sinker versus in situ debate revolves around whether the platinum and palladium ore was deposited through the fractioning of magma caused by minerals being removed from the melt by gravity, either sinking or floating based on the mineral's density relative to the melt, or if it was formed by direct contamination of the adjacent silicate rock. The reason why there has been a debate for so long is that while the sinker theory seems to best predict where ore will end up, it does not perfectly fit the actual placement of ore 100% of the time. Meanwhile, the floater theory is a worse fit overall, but can seemingly predict where select amounts of ore will end up. So, which of these 3 theories do I think is correct? The truth is, it depends on the deposit, as a combination of the 3 is generally correct, with generally one of the 3 processes being dominant. For example, the Skagard intrusion in Greenland is commonly believed to have formed in a closed system and has an oval shape with a single flow of magma largely crystallizing via in situ crystallization. Meanwhile, the Stillwater and Bushveld complexes are open systems in which multiple lava flows led to multiple layers of minerals and rocks being formed repeatedly based on the addition of new magma flows of different compositions. In such a system, cumulate rocks are formed that are layered and horizontal, and sinking and floating may have been a more important mechanism than in situ crystallization. As a final note, I would like to thank my new YouTube member, Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's some interesting stuff, man. So basically what's going on is they said at the beginning of it, that whole vein up in the Stillwater up in Montana area, is about 22 miles long, 7 meters wide, and like 12 meters deep, of different layers of crystallization of the different elements, which means there's more platinum in that line up there in Montana. So they've got a good future as far as being able to mine, placer mine, shallow mine platinum for a while. I'm gonna get this other video up about this one here. Basically, crystallized osmium institute. I believe it's all in German. I could be wrong.
It sparkles and it glitters. Diamonds
Nope,
are a
it's
girl's
not in
best
German.
friend. This slogan is familiar, but it could soon be changed because
Will
what
be.
glitters here is osmium.
And what I have to say first about that statement was a friend of mine, Kevin the Weedman's, having a wedding ring made out of osmium, just like this ring I believe you're seeing right now. It's a unique ring. Actually, that in particular ring won a jewelry exhibition in Europe. It came in first place for design. But what she just said about diamonds are girl's best friend, or he just said about it, osmium, crystallized osmium, will be replacing that. Because like I said, my buddy's going to have a 10th anniversary wedding ring to renew his vows with his wife, made out of crystallized osmium. They're making it, or they're designing it right now as we speak. Let's go back to the video.
Like gold, silver, or platinum, osmium is a precious metal and is increasingly used in jewelry making. Scarlett Klaus, the vice director of the German Osmium Institute, sees the following reasons for this.
Crystalline osmium is gaining
I'd like
popularity
to
in the
bring
jewelry
information
market,
that most people
particularly
haven't seen
among
to
younger and
that
more
company,
forward-thinking
Shadowworks.
individuals. It is seen as the innovative addition that the jewelry industry looked for in recent years but just didn't get. Now there's the rarest non-radioactive element in the world. That it's a beautiful precious metal that can't be counterfeited is being very, very well received.
In 2014, osmium was the last of the 8 precious metals to be introduced on the world market for trading. Since then, it has risen sharply in price. It was initially only available as an investment metal, but currently more and more jewelers are adding osmium jewelry to their collections.
There are 2 clear instances where osmium can perform very well. In diamond jewelry, there is something called a pavé. A pavé is composed of many fractions of a carat, many small diamonds, and it is a very expensive surface that sparkles as a whole. But the value is not in the material, but in the work required to complete the setting of all these little pieces. When you take the materials themselves out, they are worth almost
If
nothing.
you notice your
With
watch,
crystalline
was
osmium,
talking,
you
her
can
watch
create a very
is
similar
osmium,
surface
crystallized
that
osmium as
sparkles
well.
as much
Very
or even
rich.
more than diamonds. But in this case, the value is intrinsic. It's the high value of the precious material itself, which is undeniably appealing. Especially
you go.
nowadays
Talks
when
with her
people
hands,
say,
it's on her left
okay,
wrist.
I'd like to combine my jewelry with a tangible asset, the idea resonates strongly.
Designers and
That's
goldsmiths
beautiful right
also
there.
value osmium for its ability to produce nearly flawless surfaces, providing them with complete
You
creative
guys
freedom
think of
in
the
shaping
jewelry
their
market for
designs.
crystallized osmium,
And
or
this is
eighth
something which you
noble metal.
can't do with a pavé. For instance, consider a sharply pointed logo that narrows towards the end. With traditional stones, there will always be one stone or diamond at the tip, preventing the creation of precise acute angles. In contrast, we can achieve this level of precision with osmium cutting, enabling us to craft the finest logos, shapes, and the corresponding surfaces that stones can't replicate.
The new headquarters of the Osmium Institute
Look at that
is being
roof.
built in the Bavarian
Looks like they
town
got
of
a solar
Murnau am
powered roof going
Staffelsee,
in.
about 70 kilometers south of Munich. Ingo Wolf is the
Me
scientific
and
director
Art
of
was
now
there a
40
couple months ago.
branches
He's
of
going
the
to be on my
Osmium
live
Institute
stream
on
next week.
5
It's gonna be
different
a total
continents.
osmium,
He is in charge of
crystallized
laboratory
osmium
analysis
only live
and
stream.
supervises the
Gold and
Osmium
silver, if
World
you're gonna be
Database.
interested.
Every single
It'll be
osmium
about an hour
product is
long.
registered on this
Nothing
platform.
to do with
And this
anything.
database must always be perfect. And that is what the Osmium Institute stand for. If osmium were to be lost, for example, or stolen, or
Yes, it
reappear
is,
on the market,
Shadowworks.
or if a certificate was issued incorrectly, then we, the Institute, would be at fault and would have to pay for it with our assets. That's why we work very meticulously.
The extraction of osmium requires extremely precise work and begins in platinum
It is
mines
one of the
located
more
in
durable,
regions such as Australia, South Africa, or the
metals.
Urals. Initially, any non-platinum impurities, osmium being one of them, are dissolved from the ore. Crude osmium is then transported to Switzerland in the form of a gray powder. A meticulous process of crystallization is then carried out, a notably hazardous process.
Osmium crystallization was developed over 40 years ago, and only one company has managed it. The process is dangerous in a laboratory setting due to the toxicity of the substances contained within the closed circuit.
Yes, 100%.
It involves high pressures and temperatures that must be meticulously controlled. This means that within the laboratory environment, there's not only a need to protect against theft of precious metals, but also to manage a highly hazardous procedure.
Once osmium is readily available in its standardized crystalline form, the refined metal is shipped to Germany. There it is cut by wire erosion into bars and inlays, and then scanned and certified by Wolf and his team in Murnau. Investors in kind now have the opportunity to purchase the finished crystalline osmium.
There are some standard shapes, such as discs and bars at no extra charge. Then cut shapes, such as small diamonds and stars.
The price is therefore determined by
Look at all the
quantity and
differences.
size. In both the jewelry and
There's the
investment
heart.
markets, it begins with modest investments, sometimes as low as 100 euros.
It really is a good investment, guys. That's the difference. The one on the
The
left. is
price of
like
a traditional
crystal-
engagement ring adorned with
Sparkle
crystalline
2, and
osmium,
the one on
for
the right
example,
there was
typically
Sparkle
starts at
5.
around 1,000 euros.
And then there are what I would almost call lighthouse projects, like the Osmium violin, for example. It comes with an asking price of 3.5 million euros and features over 500 unique osmium elements handcrafted in Austria. Likewise, the world's most precious headphones have also integrated osmium. Now there's also someone looking to put osmium on motorcycle helmets for the first time. There are no limits to the luxury thoughts and, accordingly, of course, to the prices.
And that's where it's beneficial for us because it's a high dollar sales if you create a piece of jewelry or artwork.
First of all, osmium is incredibly rare. And I mean really incredibly rare. 1,500 times rarer than gold. You have about 17 to 55 cubic meters of osmium in the Earth's crust, and yet only about 1 cubic meter of that is expected to be extractable. You don't have more than 22 tons of osmium available at all. That means we are dealing with a very, very narrow market here.
All right, hold on a second there. I got your question. Okay, we are at 608. This, the one on the left, you can see the size of the crystals are smaller. The way they rate the crystallization is by sparkle. What's up, Silver Boy Blues and Matthew? They judge them by sparkle grade. Sparkle grade is determined by the size they allow the crystal to grow and the thickness of the piece and the weight, the millimeter weight of it. The one to the left there is a smaller crystallization process was used and it wasn't allowed to grow. So therefore it's a lot of smaller crystals and it's more narrow, better used for like watch faces that have the minute and hour hand writing over them. The one to the right there, the crystals were allowed to grow. It's a Sparkle 5. And you can see the mirror faces on the osmium crystals are a lot larger. And what that does is it makes it a thicker piece of osmium. In this case, they're rounds. But in any form that you get the osmium cut in, it'll be thicker if it's a Sparkle 5. Because Sparkle 5, like the picture, the disc to the right, you can actually see the individual crystals. And they're big. They're huge. But the sparkle grade off of it is also as dynamic. But you get the same sparkle just in smaller fragments on the Sparkle 1 because it's like they're just like smaller mirrors, tens of thousands of smaller mirrors compared to tens of thousands of larger mirrors. And they have a natural bluish hue to them. So it changes the light spectrum of the light that reflects off of it. But that's the difference. And I hope that answered your question, Shadow. Where were we at here? We're at 608, somewhere around here.
Means we are dealing with a very, very narrow market here.
Every year, leading osmium experts meet at the IPMI and at the Osmium Symposia, organized by the Osmium World Council, to calculate when
I
the
was
raw
within
material
5
crude
seconds.
osmium
Thank
will
you,
run out.
Shadow. And
Ingo
yes, they
Wolf
can
estimates
control the
that this
girth of
event could occur
crystals.
in just 10 to 15 years. In America, this moment has been nicknamed the Osmium Big Bang. The consequence would probably be a massive price increase.
Because you have a powerful effect when something runs out entirely. The crystalline osmium created from raw osmium has a secondary market. It actually goes into the vault with the real investors and stays there for 10 to 15 years. That's why they call it next generation metal.
And the secondary market in crystallized osmium, you're going to have a better opportunity to make more money with the crystallized osmium in the secondary market than in what we're in now, which is the primary market. Because the end life of this primary market is in 2026. And that means the only thing that'll be out there is what's out there already pre-made, which is called the secondary market. And the value of the crystallized osmium in the jewels and jewelry will exponentially gain value, and people will sell it, and it'll be reused in other pieces of jewelry, just as in every classic high dollar piece of jewelry that happens. The Queen's crown I go to, it wasn't all the jewels brought together all at one time to make a crown. Every one of those jewels was in another piece of jewelry, and as they conquered those kingdoms, they took and added all of them to a piece. That is like a secondary market. Now the value of it's $2.5 billion. So the secondary market has a lot more money in it. And that piece you're seeing right there, someone in 5 years will pull that osmium, crystallized osmium, out of there, because it'll be worth more in 5 years by about probably 1,000 times than it is right now. And they'll be able to remelt the metals, pull the crystallized osmium out, make another piece, and get buku more bucks off of it than they could or are selling in that format at this point in time. That's the secondary market of the crystallized osmium he's talking about.
In other words, this means that tangible asset investors acquire the precious metal for the next generation, their children, for example. Piece by piece, osmium is slowly moving over to the jewelry market.
And then it becomes less. This is called a thin out. Then you might have a very strong price effect again when it reaches zero, because there is simply nothing left.
And that's when the secondary market starts. What he just said, your price fluctuation will go up and up and up until it reaches zero, and then it's infinity and beyond, because it enters the secondary market, and that's where you want to have as much osmium in your possession as you can possibly have. That happens within 2 years, guys.
But the interesting thing is this. All of the metals go back into the real asset market, but you don't recycle osmium.
For while gold and silver jewelry can be melted down and reintroduced into the tangible asset market quite easily, such a process for osmium would be prohibitively expensive.
That is why osmium will not go back to the tangible asset market from the jewelry market. This means we have
exactly
a thin out. The curve goes
100%.
down. And once it's at zero,
silver.
then we have the second possible price effect that one could experience. And it will probably be very significant, because osmium is the first precious metal to run out completely.
Another critical aspect to consider
What's up,
with osmium
Chad?
is its scarcity in its raw form,
What's up,
while
Space?
carbon, required for cost-effective diamond production, is abundantly available. According to the Osmium Institute, it is unlikely that osmium will experience a
Platinum,
similar to
I
that
started
seen in
off
the
with
gemstone
platinum.
market. Approximately
Now it's
1,500
going
partners
to
worldwide
crystallized
are
osmium.
actively contributing to the globalization of the osmium market. Currently, Scarlett Klaus is playing a pivotal role as a liaison between these institutes, the investment sector, and jewelers, accelerating and simplifying the journey.
Side note, Space Miner. Get a hold of me after this live stream. I need to pass a phone number to you. Someone asked me to give you their phone number. So I need to do that.
From raw material to the final jewelry piece.
The new markets are coming up right now in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, so the Emirates. South Korea's market is on the rise. In China, we have just opened our first branch, the Osmium Institute.
That means the money is starting to flow into crystallized osmium. If you buy your stuff now, even if you don't make jewelry out of it now, just buy some now, because every country she just mentioned that they're going into has big money and will throw it at this stuff, and it's going to disappear fast. Trust me.
China, when these markets jump in, we are simply talking about a completely different price and market development. And that is, of course, where the real price development will be really exciting.
Simultaneously, construction is underway at the German headquarters for the inaugural European sales and showroom, serving as the flagship store for crystalline osmium and its associated products. Furthermore, a public access glass laboratory is being established. In Murnau.
Now, also, they haven't mentioned this. But if you do create jewelry that's really cool, they will like some paperwork stuff where you sign it over them. They take it on the world tour with that violin that's worth 3.5 million euros and those other big dollar pieces, and your piece will be displayed with those pieces on the worldwide crystallized osmium jewelry and art tour. So you do have an opportunity to go from I don't know, like a fireman or an iron worker, and create an awesome piece of jewelry, have it showcased with the Crystallized Osmium Institute, and you'll be able to change careers and instantly be a jewelry designer, and a well-known one. And it pays more than both those careers, as an example. Okay, let's get back to the video. Sorry about that.
Now, one can anticipate a future with a little more sparkle. And maybe one might soon hear osmium is a girl's best friend.
I have no idea, Chef. Probably just mispronounced a word or something. And anyhow, that's the end of that video. Let me see if I can't get another video up for you guys. Give me just a second here. Where would they be under? Let's see, live playback. Oh, here we go. We can get you a commercial. Hold on a second here. All right, now you got to do all this funky shit. It's going to take a little second. Sorry about that. And let's see. Go ahead, your Rolex. Simple, even a firefighter could do it. Need to buy two. Okay, Chad. Yes, you do. You need to buy some. To buy some osmium for sure. Here is kick-ass commercial. I love this one. It's totally in German. I apologize. If JM Unleashed was here, he has an English. He knows how to find an English version. I'm not as well versed as he is with the computer. You see that right there? That crystal? That is actually representative of a Sparkle 5 round or disc or shape of any crystallized osmium. They're big pieces like that. Crystallized osmium. That right there, that little piece of osmium, I think it's like a 4 millimeter round, and this is like, 5 or 10 grams of something like gold. This piece, in particular piece, I think they made like 50 of them, sold out overnight. It was just a great design. Made a lot of, those guys who designed that made a lot of money. What's up, Dave? Open your eyes, man. I tell you what, Ian Ardark, and you're more than welcome, any of my subscribers, not subscribers, any of my Smurfs to put down Ian's, which I believe Space Miner did. Yeah, you're seeing a black screen because that was off. I had it down so I could see the computer because I had to. I'm on YouTube Live and I'm not familiar with the features, so I have to see the screen, and I have my screen from my laptop transferred over to my TV. So I have to have the don't poke the bear. What's up? You are in heaven. You just don't know it yet. And it doesn't look like this. This is the opposite of heaven. This is what you don't want. But if you get involved in crystallized osmium, you'll be in heaven within 2 years. How's it going, my friend? Thank you, Space Miner. That's what I wanted to see right there. And by the way, next Sunday, I'm going to have my live streams. I'm going to have my StreamYard back up. And I'm going to have Ian, hopefully Long Live Koiz, and Space Miner myself on a panel with Ian Ardark, the gentleman whose information got plastered down there, and he's going to give a lowdown of every bit of information out there on crystallized osmium, so that the new people getting involved will have a a full understanding of what's going on in the crystallized osmium and what it is, what its use cases, other than my bullcrap talking right now. Yeah, Silver Boy Blues. That's it's all perspective, man. All perspective. What's that, Space Miner? Is that your info? I've cranked phone call people at midnight just in case you want to reconsider putting your phone number out there. What's up, ATM? And you can ask Nickel Stacker, Constitutional Stacker. Who else do I call? Jake's Custom Parts. I always crank phone call them. The ones that are on live, I'll call them when they go live. I'm surprised my phone's not ringing. Where the hell is my phone? Hold on. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. I just uploaded a video. It was going real slow. Oh, it's still uploading, 64%. I have a video uploading. I already forgot what it was about because the smoke out here is pretty good for you. But it's a good video. Probably has to do with it's a bricks video. You guys are going to love it. Hey, what's up, C4? I'm as soon as my phone uploads it, I did a video. The newest update on the BRICS currency or exchange system. I don't want to tell you too much about it. I want you all to view it so I can get the viewing hours. But it gives a breakdown of what the BRICS currency might look like. They're one step closer to coming up with something. And not everyone's on board with the one step closer because other countries still have to catch up technologically with the digital process of the process Russia's thinking about turning out. And they're either going to back it by gold or the yuan. So if they back it by the yuan, America's going to be wealthy because the dollar's the last man standing. So if anyone underneath the dollar starts building up, the dollar gets propped up. That's just how it is to it. In my opinion, and from what I've learned of economics, this is not economic advice or anything else. It's pure entertainment and to laugh at me because I'm ugly. And that's all this is about. And I can't allow anyone up on panel because I don't have the opportunity through this YouTube's live to allow anyone up on the panel, or else I would encourage someone else to get up here and help me. Just kidding. I can do fine on my own. I don't need help making an ass of myself. I do a good job on my own. Anybody here on Rapatha? I have never heard of that. So I would be an obvious no on that one, ATM. But I'm not the most technologically. Now, having said that I'm not the most technologically advanced individual, I actually have built all the facilities where the technology comes from because I built Silicon Valley back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Hey, look, there's Striker, FaceTime. Hey, quit cleaning yourself. Get on camera. There you go. He's like, what? There we go. It's gone up. Uh-oh. Ginger's going to be on my lap here. Come on. You can do it. There you go. She wants her FaceTime too. I want my FaceTime too. You guys see her? Look at that skull. She goes, I need some more butt rubbers, brothers. Give me more butt rubbers and belly rubbers. Look at those spots. She's a little panther. Cholesterol injection. Dude, what do you want? What? Holy shit, ATM, you gonna be okay, brother? Tape's coming down. Who's leaving? I lost place here. Oh, Shadow Works. Your service is lagging. Okay. Right on. I appreciate everyone who came in. Obviously, so does Ginger and Sleepy Boy Striker. Right there. Platina's sleeping right down there. What else we got? Got Silver back over there. I got Gandalf in the window, and the others are in the front somewhere. I can't see them. I tell you what, guys, I posted something earlier in another chat. I don't remember whose chat it was. They were talking about, I think it was Steve Harloa. As a matter of fact, I know it was his chat. It has been medically proven that if you fast for 3 days, and I know that kills everybody that does it worse than the vax, but if you fast for 3 days, it resets your immune system and starts rebuilding your cells. Kind of sort of cures a lot of things. So as soon as you do your own research, don't trust me, as soon as you do your own research, if you come to the same conclusion, you will then come to the conclusion that a calorie deprivation diet is probably the most healthiest diet for longevity. And what's that, Jay? How's it going, by the way? Autophagy? Yeah, Silverboard Blues, you know about it. Where are you talking about your health, your beef and lamb diet and salt? Space Miner, why are you into my diet? Have you been watching my diet, bro? That's what I've been doing for years. Fast, cheeseburgers, steak, and the right type of marijuana. Everyone's system's different. Over the years and years and years and decades I've been involved in the marijuana industry, I've developed my own species or type of seed that I crossbred, and I took the 5 years and I did all the G1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to guarantee that I get this exact plant out of every seed, and then I feminized them. But that plant's good for me, and so I had that. But yeah, fast carnivore diet and weed, the right weed for you. You know, ATM, as far as the salads go, if you want a different taste that replaces sugar that you can actually add to a salad, add honey, natural, local honey. Pour some honey over it instead of sour dressing, and like add some cottage cheese if you like. Not cottage cheese. Well, if you like it, add your cottage cheese, but Parmesan cheese. And add that to those two things to your salad. Oh, God, it does it for me. And of course, honey is in what I call nectar of the gods. Very good for you. Hell if I know, Space Miner. I rescued every single one of them. I have Silver. Actually, I was told my white cat that's got the gray ears and the gray spot actually has the striped tail. I was told that by a cat person that they've never seen basically all white cat that has a tabby tail, which Silver, back over here, oh, he's behind the chair. Actually, that's Chloe. Silver's mostly white. He's got gray ears and his tail is tabby. And I was told that's an unusual, but I don't know. I just rescue them, brother. I don't know what they are. This one loves being close to me as much as she can, as do most of them. But since she's Big Mama, she's forceful and gets a lot more because she pushes her way through. So yeah, I'd say she has the attitude of a Maine Coon and Tabby mix. My last baby, before I started my channel, I only had 1 cat and 4 dogs, and her name was Persia. I have her up here in a box that are cremated. One of these boxes right here are boxes of fuck, why can't I go up backwards? Okay, there we go. Boom. Those ones right there are my babies that I've lost and I cremated and boxed them. But I only had 1 cat, and she was a cross between a Maine Coon and I don't know what other kind of cat. She was a general of all the other cats. She would like order them around, bring back squirrels on a regular. I mean, she was a beast, and she was big for a cat, real big. But then she died, and that's when I decided I'd help more cats. And then all of a sudden I have 9 inside and 20 outside, and I've decided I've got enough cats to help. Someone else can step up, and I'm just only helping the ones that I have started to count on me for their life. But I don't know anything about them. ATM. This is what's holding down the price of platinum, and it's going to end very soon. Very soon, meaning probably within a year. South Africa signed a deal with China. That's the problem. That deal is coming to an end because platinum in South Africa is coming to an end. And they need to make money off of the last bit of platinum in their mines to restore their country's infrastructure, which means they're going to break away from the deal with China. And how do I know they're going to do that? Because for the first time in 30 years, the party in charge and has run South Africa and got them into the bind that they're in right now had to give concessions to other parties to maintain power. I did a video on it. And then after I did a video, it happened. And the video, I said if they included the DC party in their coalition party to continue rule, they would have to give up some sort of economic governmental control. And if that happens, the suppression of the price of platinum will end. That did happen. The suppression price of platinum will end shortly because they're at 2,200 meters of approximately 2,500 meter depth as the maximum they can get platinum out of, which means they only have about 4, 5, 6 years of platinum. And then they need to figure out how they're going to run their country when they don't have any resources. So they made concessions. The power that have been in power made concessions with other powers that have been out of power so that they can keep their country, so someone can have power over a country and they don't lose their country. That's how dire the situation is in South Africa, politically and socially, if you live down there, because as I've done many reports, they only have power for 12 hours a day. If you're a crypto lover, it's only good for 12 hours a day. So the other 12 hours a day, you better pray like a son of a bitch so the crypto market doesn't move because you don't have access because you don't have power. Another reason why I'm not too hip on this CBDC, because South Africa is living proof. It doesn't work if you have a bad government. Hold on, listen to this. If you have a bad government that's greedy and selfish and only takes and doesn't reinvest, like South Africa or another country that comes to mind right off the top of my head, then you start losing power. Once you start losing power, all the crypto stuff, all the CBDC stuff doesn't work because you need power. So only place that CBDCs will work is in first world nations that are run by corrupt governments that can force a regime of suppression on their people. And that doesn't sound like the Western countries. That sounds like if you watch my video that's coming out in, I'll be able to tell you how many minutes, depending on how long it's going to upload. Let's see how long you got. It says, okay, once this video here comes out, okay, you can't see. Which one is it? That one right there. I got like 80% of it uploaded. It says 9 hours, but I'm sure it's not going to be 9 hours to upload it. But once it's uploaded, it's going to give a report of the actual first report that came from BRICS nations themselves on their steps that they are now taking to have a digital currency. And it's only steps, because they haven't concluded whether it's going to be backed by the yuan or gold. So that more steps have to be taken 12, 18 months out before they even initiate it. So it's really not a big deal. And a lot of things can happen that can fuck that up between the here and the now. What's up, Gerald? But yeah, that video will be out and you'll be able to see it. And it's the latest BRICS release of information. BRICS countries release of information. What's up, Jay? Hold on a second here. Do you think the hydrogen cars will affect the platinum market? Most definitely counting on it, along with a lot of other new technologies that people aren't talking about. Cancer drugs, other medications, medical and technical equipments, new chemical combinations of things that are coming out and the manufacture of them. Lots of new uses for platinum above and beyond the hydrogen fuel cell engine that China has to build, and are buying 2.5 million ounces of platinum specifically for that reason. And that eats up half the platinum supply in the world this year, just for the technology of the hybrid and biodiesel hydrogen engine. So yes, 100%, Jay, it will. And that's part of the reason why the platinum price is manipulated, is because China had to buy 2.5 million ounces to build those car engines. And they would have, when they got South Africa in the deal 13 years ago, and platinum started to drop because of the suppressions and manipulation of price by China, they knew then that they were going to be building hydrogen engines 13 years ago. And they knew that the smartest thing to do was, instead of buy platinum at $5,000 an ounce, control the price now, drop it down to 1,000 and buy it at 1,000. So when South Africa signed on to the BRICS and the One Belt Road Initiative, that's exactly what they signed on for. It's a simple conclusion to come to if you understand, and you're not struck by the bullshit of the One Belt Road Initiative, and you actually find out what the hell it actually does to countries other than China. You will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now, Italy backed out of the Belt Road Initiative after being in it for 1 year. They said it was the worst thing that ever happened to that country. The worst thing. Every other country that's in the Belt Road Initiative can't say that, because they're being dominated by a governmental system that's totalitarian, dictatorship, whatever, you know. So they're not saying much, but all of their governmental actions are telling you the same thing. They're getting crushed. Their economies are being ripped apart. And it's all because of the Chinese One Belt Road Initiative. Jay, wow. Okay, so you're just joining me. They called me the Prince of Platinum. I pointed that out 2 years ago, Jay. The sovereign coins list or mint cast on their sovereign coins that 1 ounce of platinum is valued at $100 and 1 ounce of gold is valued at $50. And it is like that because that is the true value of the metals comparatively. Historically charted, platinum's twice the value of gold until they signed the One Belt Road Initiative and joined BRICS. Then for the first time in history, platinum started to get manipulated and became lower than the price of gold. That's the facts. So had China not lowered the price of platinum, it'd be about $4,000 to $5,000 right now, and we wouldn't be talking about it, and no one would be buying it. That's why I'm pushing it so hard, because as soon as China gives up the manipulation and control, which they will have to do, platinum price is going to jump right back up again. And how do I know they're going to have to do it? Because they signed a deal with South Africa. The newest platinum vein discovered on this planet, larger than South Africa's vein, which now is at the 2,200 meter level. The bottom of that vein is at 2,500 meters. So, and it started at 500 meters. So they've already eaten up 1,700 meters of that vein that only lasted 2,300 meters. So they ain't got much left. So that deal they made with China, it ends with the platinum, if not sooner. And the new platinum mine that's going to open up is owned by Canada. and America is going to control that vein, and China is not going to be able to do that because that mine's not going to open up. And the company that owns that, the rights to that platinum vein larger than South Africa, has already stated they're not even going to start mining until the price normalizes. Well, what does normalize mean in the business world of metals, precious metals? Non-manipulated? Okay, well, if it's non-manipulated, platinum will have to be $5,000 an ounce, almost double gold's price before that mine opens. How bad are we going to need platinum? We need it real bad. So how soon does the world going to step in and stop the manipulation to where we can actually afford to get more platinum out of the ground, i.e. open a new mine? See, and that's the pressure China is going to also face here very shortly. So that's how I know in the next couple of years, platinum's going to skyrocket. And I'm not a financial advisor. This is just a clown show. I'm, Bozo the clown. Don't listen to me. But that's what's happening. And that's what will. This is, and I know this is recorded. And you're going to go back and see it, and other people will and make fun of me. But I'll also be right. And that's why I say it, because I don't say shit on a recorded video that I don't 100% believe through the actual facts that I have looked up and researched myself. I don't need someone from college to do that for me if I do it with my own eyes and I read the documents and I follow the trails and then I give the information out. I'm more than happy to have that recorded. And that's what I found. And since no one else is talking about it, how can I be wrong? No one else has come up with another theory. They're not even talking about platinum. So, that's a tell in and of itself as far as I'm concerned. But I hope, and if you have any other questions about the platinum price, just go back to a lot of my videos over a year and a half ago. That's 2 years ago. I mean, I started off talking about platinum. My saying was buy silver and platinum before I added crystallized osmium to the statement. And for about almost 18 months, all I said was like buy silver and platinum. And I didn't talk about silver because everyone talked about silver. I only talked about platinum. But my saying was buy silver and platinum. But all I did was talk platinum for you. And I'll tell you more about platinum than anyone else knows because they don't research it. Yeah, that's an economic game being played, Jay, about the platinum business strike of the American Eagle. They are going to stop it. They are going to stop it. A couple things can happen because of that, because you got to understand they started minting in 1997 the Platinum Eagle, which made it legal tender, meaning that you can use it as a monetary means of exchange, which technically makes platinum money. That changes a lot of things legally. So if the platinum mint quits, or the platinum mint, the sovereign mints quit minting platinum, and they take away the legal terminology that allowed them to mint platinum, they can use platinum as an industrial metal and not a monetary industrial metal, and the price could skyrocket, in my opinion. But yeah, but at the same time, once that new platinum mine opens up in Canada, they might start restriking platinum American Eagle and Canadian coins, platinum coins, because it's a sovereign mine and mineral at that point in time. So they might restrike it in 5 years when that mine opens up. And that's what I was just talking about, the $1 trillion platinum coin. In the process of legalizing minting an American Eagle platinum coin, even though it wasn't used as a money system in America until 1997, in the legal definition, there is a legal play of words in there that allows them the opportunity through a gray area of the legal writing of them being allowed legally to mint the platinum coin into sovereign, or the platinum or metal into a sovereign coin and mint a value on it. In the laws made to do that, there's a gray area that you could technically state that because platinum never was a monetary metal until they labeled it so to make the American Eagle, that you could quote unquote monetize a coin at $1 trillion. And that was the theory of the gray area of the law, that they saw a pathway if they wrote it right and had the right judge, that they could make that happen. But they knew back then it would be a total farce. But now the conversations come back up again on that one. I hope that answers your question. I found that information out back when Obama was president, because I was into platinum back then. What's up, Maria? We never know. You never know until it happens. But yeah, it's all paperwork and words. that's what made them think about the platinum $1 trillion coin, and looking at the Clintons and how they skirted laws and changed the meanings of laws, and how even Obama changed definition of laws, and how Biden's changing meanings and definitions. If you do that enough, your legal system, you can come up with $1 trillion coin, because there's enough gray area in the law that they made, and there's already enough push to stupidity where it could be theoretically pushed, like Obamacare. Oh, we got to vote for it before we read it, So it is. That's the feasibility of the $1 trillion coin, and under the now common sense coming back, it's not going to happen, and it doesn't need to. We need to fix the shit, not continue it with more stupid, in my unprofessional, untrained opinion. No, it's not. No, it's not your idea. I hope. What's up, Scrap? Yes, I'm in California, the North Bay in Vallejo. I hope, Jay, that enlightened you to whatever. If I didn't totally answer your question, I hope it enlightened you a little bit so you could come to your own conclusion, get your own answer. If I didn't get it to you, or my perspective didn't satisfy the itch of questions that you have. Yeah, I'm on the Scrap. This will tell you I'm on the West Coast, baby. Only in Cali can you do that and get away with it. And I had my show taken down last week where I showed my plants I got growing in the backyard, because I don't pay money for my medications. I grow my medication, and the excess I buy silver with, so I get free silver and medication. Wow, what a savings. That's why I'm not too concerned about the price of either. I basically grow my silver and my medication. So, Chad, that's because we need to strip a lot of the dumbass laws that actually don't follow the original Constitution off the books and get back to a more normality way of rule. And I believe that'll happen. Yeah, prototype ATM. And to show how nice it truly is, it's not a real good prototype if this is the only chamber filled. It is a great prototype if that chamber is filled, because that chamber fills this 6 times and it all fits together. One little package, no 2 baggies, no none of this other crap, all together. I got 2-3 days worth of smoking right here before I break into. You can't really see it, but that stuff there. Yeah, I encourage everybody to do their own research on everything and do thorough research. Always ask questions. There's always 2 sides to every coin. Someone tells you something, think about what the other side of that, what they're telling you is, because then you're going to find out more about what they're talking about. Because people don't tell you they tell you their perspective without looking or exposing the other end of the coin. So there's always, you can question everything and come up with answers of your own. Man, you'll become more enlightened, more entertaining to talk to, more knowledgeable, and more successful. Most important, you'll be more successful because you'll have a better understanding of how things actually freaking work in this world. And the way it actually works, the way people think it works, is why we have so many people on the streets right now living in tents. Because the way they thought it worked compared to the way it actually works were 2 different creatures. And they got caught in the middle. And, well, that usually ends up in living in a tent and out in the streets. Yeah, in Zimbabwe, yes, sir, Chad. They actually went to a partially gold-backed system for a while to try and get their inflation under control. And the funny thing is, when you talk about corruption in governments, there's actually a platinum vein in Zimbabwe that they're not profiting off of, because they sold the mineral rights to that vein to Impala Mines, and Impala Mines is located in South Africa, and bought the platinum vein in Zimbabwe and are mining it, and no one in Zimbabwe is getting any money from that. Ain't that crazy? Yeah. Rwanda also has a platinum mine owned by Angola Mines, the number one platinum miner, largest by size, the largest platinum miner in the world. Quite a few, and I think there's a platinum vein in Tanzania as well that they're already exploiting. So, South African area of the continent of South Africa, or the continent of Africa, the southern part of the continent, it's platinum veins. And oh, hey, by the way, technological need for platinum, supply, they're like passing each other. Shadows in the night. Supply is going up, or supply's going up, or supply's going down, and the need's going up. So you get a price curve somewhere in there. But you notice I did this number because there's manipulation going on right now. Supply's going down, needs going up, and there's no fucking balance for price, supply and demand curve. Anytime you find an industry where there's no supply and demand curve being used, manipulation, clear and defined. Just a key way for you guys to look at any industry and have a basic understanding if it's being manipulated or if their numbers are being manipulated. You just look at their supply, you look at the demand, you look at the price, and wonder what the hell is going on. Something's manipulated. Bingo, bingo. If it doesn't match up, because basics of all economic systems is supply and demand. It's a price curve. They even have a word for it. Crystallized osmium is the first squeeze. After crystallized osmium will come platinum for a squeeze, and silver's still got some shit going on, along with copper. Copper's going to affect the silver price. People aren't even talking about that. Our copper supply will have a direct impact on the silver price. People aren't talking about that through technological innovations that are coming. And yeah, it's going to be and then it's going to rocket. Both of them, copper and silver. This is not financial advice. I'm just Bozo the Clown without the clown makeup. It's all my personal opinion, Jay, by the way, but I do a lot of research. Yeah, if you want to, I suggest Space Miner buying a little bit of all the Platinum Group's metals. But if you're looking for a return on investment as far as big money, don't talk about big moves because they don't want other people getting in it. So you're not going to hear about any big moves in silver until they happen, and you're not going to hear about any big moves in copper because those two minerals have a lot of money tied up in them and the possibility of a lot of money to be made. And one thing rich people don't like is sharing the wealth. And that's probably why they're not talking about copper, because it will affect the silver price, which is odd enough, but it will because of the technological advances that are on the corner. We're fixing to get them. That's going to change the use case of both silver and copper. And it's not going to deplete the need of silver by no means. So I don't know, what I'm seeing right now, I don't know if it'll affect the price of silver that much. But what will be affected is the copper price when the technological shit comes out and there's a change in silver use and copper use. I don't think it'll change the silver price, but the copper price will fucking 10x easy and maintain the high of a 10x just to make it affordable to open new mines. And that has to happen, or else we run out of copper. If we run out of copper, our civilization is dead. No more phones, no more computers, no more cars, no more nothing. So copper is very, very valuable, and we have a lot of it. We just don't have a lot of mines. And the ones that we do have are all unethically mined. And they're coming to a depletion of the supply. Again, supply and demand's not working right. Yeah, and that's, there you go, Space Miner knows. Yeah, they're all tied together. So basically, yeah, when the copper thing happens, well, osmium's already fucking gonna fly, and so is platinum. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cool shit gonna happen next couple years. A lot of cool shit. It's gonna involve a lot of things. A lot of things are gonna go up. A lot of things are gonna stay up. A lot of things are gonna go up and down. And several things are gonna go away. It's gonna be a fun ride. It's gonna be a fun ride. So secure things that won't change. Community. The way you act and treat other people. And the supplies you can get together, along with an infrastructure you can set up that can be maintained without an outwardly source being needed to maintain it, i.e. gardens, irrigation systems, water collection systems, if you have the means and the wherewithal, depending on where you're living, food stockpiles, if you can, depending again where you're living, whatever kind of fruit and nut trees could be planted. If you have yards, might be advantageous to have one. For example, 35-foot avocado tree right over here on my neighbor's yard. Half of it's over on we're going to split the crop. 2, 3, 4,000 avocados. What's the price of them? For me? 0. It's going to be 0. Big fat 0. I'm not going to pay nothing. Do I want to charge for selling them? What's the going price? I can. I don't. I give them away. But I have that opportunity. And if things get bad, then I will start selling because things get bad. But right now things aren't bad, so I share them. But I still made it available, the opportunity available to have them, because I take care of the tree. I do other things to where I maintain a certain amount of control over the fruit that comes off that tree, because the tree is not actually in my yard. But do things like that now. That's in the community building, the neighborhood building. Because what you'll find is if you build a neighbor in your neighborhood, on your block even, just on your block, if you live in a block and you don't live in a high rise or an apartment type complex, and you have a little bit of yard and whatnot in this, like the subdivision of a city where you actually have some yard, get to know people in that block. You don't know how powerful that can be in a quote unquote shit it's the fan scenario, because your first concern is going to be for yourself and your community, and not someone across the country who you just lost communications with, because you're not going to be worried about that. You're going to realize that, oh, communications are down. Let's activate the neighborhood communal system to keep us going. And everyone just starts talking and making prep plans to stay and put, realizing that the people that are going to run are leaving their 40 gallons of fresh water in that water heater. They're leaving it for you. So, your supply of water goes up as everybody leaves. So bugging out is not the thing to do. You can take advantage of those people who bug out by using their water heater for fresh water. It's already heated. It's already been decontaminated. It's just sitting there waiting to be used. No one talks about it. One person, gallon a day, 40 days worth right there. If you're, if you 2 people, if you're, don't use it for like showering and stuff like that, you can even do 4 people on 1 gallon a day if it's just for life-saving drinking water and cooking. So you got a lot of, one house could be a family of 4 a month of fresh water, where you don't have to go out looking, getting chance of being bushwhacked, scraped knees and infections. You just go next door because they bugged out, and you get water out of the hot water heater. You just saved yourself a lot of time, energy, effort, possible need of extra supplies because you got injured, someone bushwhacked you. I mean, why would you bug out? Why? That just makes no sense. What's up, John Bunny? What is that you're saying here? Mountain Hose is having a big sale now on the $10 cans. If anyone's in, what could you elaborate on that? Yeah, please elaborate on that. I don't know what the $10 cans are, John. And thank you for joining, by the way. But yeah, I have no idea what the $10 cans are. Very interested if you could elaborate. I appreciate it. But yeah, get solid assets, build a solid community in the area you live. guy next door, guy next door, guy across the street, guy across the street, guys behind you. There's 10 people right there. I mean, the amount of fruits and vegetables between the 10 houses here in the community that I live, outstanding. Peaches, grapefruits, avocado, 2 avocado trees, 4 orange trees, 2 lemon trees, 1 grapefruit tree, 2 fig trees, and a whole bunch of good fenced-in future good gardening space if it comes to that. All right here without moving. All I have to do to get all those things together is have a community of those 10 people, and we could pool all the resources and feed ourselves partially, which saves on expenses. And if we all have stock pantries, well, now we're really kicking good. It's that easy. Wow, that's how you beat it. That's how you beat a depression. Just gave you the keys, guys. Run with it. Steal a car and run with it. All right, guys, be nice, John. I appreciate you answering. Chad, I understand your feelings. Let's all be kind, helpful, and grateful. Everyone's trying to help everyone else, and not all of us know to the extent of what the other person's knowledge is. So everyone's got a path. Everyone has to walk their path. This is past information, not be judgmental on that information that's past. Take it for what it is in your situation. Your situation is different than other people's situations. Everyone should do research, so that solves all the questions right there. There you go. Thank you, Shad. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. It's your opinion, and you are welcome to have it and announce it. Just a proper discourse of communication. Words matter to people. So, but thank you, my friend. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Space Miner. Gerald, Space Miner. Space Miner, when you contact me, I'm going to give you Gerald's number after the show. That's it. So remind me, because I almost forgotten, even though Gerald's been in here for a while. But yeah, all you need to survive a shit hits the fan scenario is 1, 2, 3 houses across the street, 4, 5, the ones right beside you, and 3 houses behind you. 1, 2, 3, and your house. That's 9 houses. And if you can get all those people on board in any way, not like force them to grow some certain things, but say, hey, is there any way we could, talk about you throwing this type of fruit tree or nut tree in your yard because there's a better lighting scenario there than in my yard, and approach it in a diplomatic manner. And after a year or so, between those 9 houses, you can have what's known as a food garden, well displayed and laid out in different yards to where everyone has their own personal touch for their yard and gardening, but in a big scheme, a food garden for the 9 families. Well, Gerald, if you go on the trail, you got to put up with that. If you don't go on the trail, of those 9 families in that little box I just mentioned, several should have solar panel, wind, or generators. And the smart ones, i.e. like myself with this situation, has a built-in inverter in their generator to where if the power got shut out, I could unhook my wires from the power line where I was feeding my solar power to the power company and wire them straight into my generator. That is a built-in inverter, and plug my shit straight into it. And during daylight hours, I would have free power. Who needs a grid? Well, little things like that make the community of 9 houses prosperous. So it takes a lot less than you think to survive a bad scenario if your approach is the right approach. And solo, worst thing to do. Harder to get supplies, harder to do security, harder to do this, harder to do that, harder to do that, harder to do this, harder to do that. Why the hell would you want to do that and call yourself successful? 99% will fail. Chad. I could see where that would mess someone up, especially a coffee connoisseur. But now, having said that, what that community could also do to help yourself out, if you believe people will be doing a bug out scenario, is after you get your community, close-knit community bit together, hook up with your local farmers market, and what excess you have in the fruits and nuts, vegetables and nuts that you get off of your properties, sell them so you can extend your community reach even further. Well, the place to look, John Bunting, sorry about that, next Sunday here on this channel, live at the Han Dynasty. We're in the basement, it's unfinished. Ian Ardark will be here. He is the flagship of the Crystallized Osmium Institute here in North America, Canada, America, and Mexico. And he will be here live. We'll have about an hour or so live long stream where the little bit of bullshit information I gave at the beginning of my show, he will give you every bit of information you need. I will have hopefully Long Live Coins and Space Miner up here for us to ask questions coming from the chat. So that way Ian can just funnel out the information to you. And the three of us can gather chat questions and ask them on behalf of people in the chat. Also asking our own questions based off our own knowledge and how we got to learn about it. And it's going to be a good hour and a half long conversation on nothing but crystallized osmium, and giving you access directly to the guy who you need to have access to buy it. So next Sunday, and as Space Miner just put down, that's the information. That gentleman, Ian from Arc Silver and Gold, will be here live. So you will be able to ask questions directly to him if you don't want to call him and ask. But I would suggest watching the live streams because it'll fill you in with information, because he really is busy, because we've been promoting his product and he's real busy. Sales orders to get more in. He's real busy with that. So he's kind of leaving the information outlets to guys like Space Miner, myself, Gerald, Long Live Coins, and others. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, Commodity Cultures, everyone mark your calendar. Ian is going to be on Commodity Cultures. He called me personally and asked me to help get that word out so they can get a lot of views from that video that he's going to be on tomorrow. So everyone mark on your calendar, look up Commodity Cultures. They're going to be interviewing Ian Ardark, Ian Everend, on Crystallized Osmium. So he wants the support of our community. So our community that's here tonight, please, tomorrow, Commodity Culture with Ian. I do tea, laddie. There's no such thing as coffee in Scotland. You hear me, boy? It's a shitty Scottish accent. I haven't done it in a while. Earl Grey tea or nothing. Let's tax them. See if they revolt. Okay, because of the heart there, I can't see what your full statement is. So I've got to wait for someone else to post, or I can just do this. Commodity Culture is time check. Thank you, Gerald. Yeah, and spread the word, share, get the word out, so that way Ian's got another larger platform than the ones he has now to get the information out, which also should tell you that you should buy your silver or your crystallized osmium pieces now, because as the word gets out, this is new to America. Been here less than a year and a half. Word still hasn't gotten out about it, and it's already getting soaked up. So if you want to know what squeeze is coming first, crystallized osmium. Then I believe it'll be platinum and silver, and gold's going to keep running, but platinum will do its thing separate from charts because it's not working like charted since the manipulation. So it's irrelevant to the manipulation. It's going to break its manipulation, and the past 13-year charts are a bunch of crap when it comes to platinum. And as far as silver goes, that's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a fun ride. And that always brings me to copper. Now that I've learned more, when we talk silver, I just think copper also. So 100%, Gerald. I pointed that one out. First time I saw it and I saw the pricing, I was like, I called him up. I said, hey, I'll take, how many you got? Okay, I'll take 12 plus the age. A couple weeks later, how many you got? I need 20 more. Okay. And then they went off the market. They come back on the market, they're twice the price. So probably about 10 people probably bought 500, 600 pieces of 2mm squares. And that's how fast the squeeze went. Now, as in any squeeze, the price is doubled. So there was a micro squeeze in the crystallized osmium squeeze that's coming that lets you know how fast it doubles. 5 months. It's gonna go exponentially faster on price action. So buy it now, because you might not have the opportunity to buy it later. And that's a fact. Do your own shopping and do your own research. 2 good practices. I'm not saying everyone should, but they're good practices. That's all I'm saying. Should not do it. I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying they're good practices. Dude, this time next year, we're going to be talking about, damn, I wish I'd bought more because it's unavailable. I'm on a 4-month waiting list to get my piece. That's what it's going to be like next year. Damn, man, I got 5 pieces. I'm going to have to wait 6 months to get. That's going to happen, boys. It's going to happen quick. It's going to be freaking awesome. John Bunting. I would say, first off, right off the bat, I can give a set of guidelines, but it's a personal thing because your finances and lifestyle are different than everyone else. And the reasons that are given for having silver is based off of a survival without a money system for a certain number of months or whatever. And that differs to every individual. So what I could say is, due to your personal circumstance and monetary circumstance, I would try and get at least enough to where you could cover most of your expenses for about 3 months before you start hurting. That's a good start, I say. And I'm uneducated, and this is not financial advice. I have had up to 300 ounces of silver and sold it all, and it kept me going for 4 to 5 months. So that's why I say that. I look at my lifestyle. Obviously, it's very low class. You can see I couldn't even afford to finish painting the ceiling. So my low class lifestyle, 300 ounces of silver kept me going without an income for 4 or 5 months. But that's my lifestyle. You got to consider what your lifestyle is and what you want to continue on. Would you really want to continue your cable bill in a bad economy? You know, sure, check some bills off the table when you do your calculations of extra expenditures due to necessity expenditures, and base your silver holdings off of your necessity expenditures over a 3+ month period, whatever those expenditures are in your personal life. And I hope that's a valid answer for you. Because I don't like being specific, because everyone's different. And here's another thing. If you have a valuable skill or can learn one, do it. Because one thing that helps is if instead of spending your silver, if you have a good skill, a valued skill, people will pay for it. And if they're in a position where we're using silver for like a barter or something, you could actually use your skill to get your whatever it is you needed to barter for, and some silver, to where you could gain silver during a shit hits the fan scenario because of your skill set. So don't look. My personal viewpoint is, don't spend your silver in a shit hits the fan. Gain silver, because everyone's going to need something, and they're going to barter their silver supposedly for this something. And only 3% of the nation has silver, so everyone's going to barter with silver, right? You know, come on. There's, skills. Skills is where it's at. In my opinion, monetary metals are made for monetary reasons. preservation of monetary wealth, not for expenditures, not for barter. But that's my opinion, and there's different aspects, viewpoints of how people use precious metals in their life, to where that opinion is a bunch of cocky pot to other people. And rightfully so, because their opinions and the way their lifestyle is and the way they use the metals is different than mine. And that's what makes America great. We all have different lives, different uses, different things we want and think we want and whatever. And we're all allowed to have them as long as we do no harm to others, and the base to a community is understanding that your way is yours, other people's way is theirs. There is no right way other than for you alone. And your right way is no one else's right way. And if you have that understanding, again, it'll be easier to build community because you'll get along with people better, So yeah, Chad. And also in that statement, you don't have to spend money if you grow your own smoke. But if you drink beer, you have to buy it. So that's an expenditure. That, from my perspective, is a bad thing. I try and cut expenditures, especially ongoing monthly expenditures. Like buying beer, that's a monthly, weekly thing. That's a waste of money. Cigarettes, waste of money. I mean, I buy cigarettes. Don't get me wrong. I'm a hypocrite when I say this. I buy my cigarettes too because I'm hooked on them through chemical whatever in my brain and I'm stupid and whatever. But cut as many expenditures as you can and turn it from an expenditure to a profit margin. So if I'm going to smoke weed, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to get in and I'm going to find out how to grow it without using chemicals because I don't want to smoke chemicals. So I'm going to grow it as naturally, holistically as I can so it best serves me for the purpose it's made for. And the excess I'll sell and buy silver. So now my silver's free just by a choice I made not to buy something, but to make it. See how positively just work on yourself and self-sustaining, knock out repetitive bullcrap things in your life that are just costing you and turn things around and get into things that constantly are making you money. Like once a year, I'm on maybe 100 ounces of silver free this year, this December. Unless the price is too high, then it might be 50 ounces. And it doesn't matter. I could care less because I don't have to work for it. It's growing right now. My year's supply that I used to spend $6,000-$7,000 on, boom, saved, no longer cost. Not only is it no longer cost, so there's $6,000 I saved a year, but I'm also going to make silver from the excess. So there's $6,000 saved and $3,000 gained. So that's $9,000 just because I decided to do something for myself instead of allow someone else to do it for me. I decided to cut expenditures out and make them profitable. Fuck. That's cool. That means that $9,000 was an expenditure. Now it's a profit margin. So that means I actually turned my finances around $18,000 a year. Oh, man. See how easy it is? Just think properly. For your scenarios, my scenario is different than y'all's. I'm just laying out a pathway, a guideline that you can say, okay, well, let's try and think what we have that we could get rid of or produce more of and make money off of that we have. Or, and that's start thinking. Just start thinking, basically. Yeah, I'm cutting down on the cigarettes. I'm trying actually, and that's why I got this actually particular type, the turquoise of American Spirits. There's no herbicides or pesticides or chemicals put in that particular brand. I've called the company and done some research on it. There are other colors that they put out actually do have pesticides and herbicides on them. So the bad part about the cigarette now is this filter. And the closer I get to smoking, is the filter. So. And it's actually more of a cost thing because of my awareness of that, I don't smoke a cigarette. I leave like 1/3 of the cigarette. I don't even get close to smoking a filter because I don't want that extra bullshit of the heat of the filter going into my lungs. So I don't smoke as much of the cigarettes. Then I buy more. So I'm trying to cut all that shit down. When basically I should just have 79 slap me upside the head and tell me to quit fucking smoking. Oh, hey, what's up? 79? Didn't see you here. Special for 79. There you go, girl. Hi, 79. I like my style too, 79. It's mine, and I'm happy with it, you know. So, what we talked about platinum, crystallized osmium. My version of how you should use your metals for your particular lifestyle if you want a number to stack to have in your head of amount. And then that is a personal choice. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. Now you might choose wrong. That's on you. So always err in the side of more when it comes to financial scenarios of how much silver should I have. You know, it's a personal thing. Look at your life and then say, well, you know what? Let me get a little more. And, you know, it'll always be better than not. So, anyone else want to bring up any subjects? Man, I got like 18 thumbs up. Fuck, this is like a record, bro. I know 79 hasn't hit the thumbs up yet. Happy 79. Yeah, I knew it. Oh, it was Gerald that was lacking. You slacker. Slacker. Oh, no, there's 19 likes. I see 18. Okay, cool. 19. All right, I guess 79 hit it. My bad, 79. Nah, fuck it. I meant it. No apologies here. Yeah, it's hard to. I'm Scottish. You should have seen my. You want dry Scottish humor? You should have hung out with my grandfather. I had to. It's part of where I get my humor from. I actually think Benny Hill is funny. And okay, there you go. Now, can you, John? Can you eat off of that much? Also, in case you do have to sell to get food. That's another scenario you got to add in your amount you need to pay bills and whatnot is food. But if you can cover 6 months with just bills with the silver you have, right on, bro. Now what you can do is lower the amount of those bills monthly, and you can extend that number. Get it up to 9 months with your existing stack just by cutting. You know, don't leave lights on all the time. Don't do this so much. Don't do that so much. To lower expenses, again, the expense thing, lower your expenses so that way your stack that you now claim is worth 6 months for you could go out to 8 or 9 months. And that's a quarter of the year you saved just by a little change in lifestyle. Temporary. Economy's not going to be bad forever. I mean, one day I'm going to have a nice car, when the economy is better. There you go. That's where, John, having a pantry, a full pantry comes in. Pantry should last you, not total all you eat, but I mean, you should be able to pull the ingredients that you need out of your pantry for what you have in your refrigerator for, to at least cover 4, 5, 6 months of extras that you need. Of course, you can't, unless you have a separate freezer, you really can't store, 300-400 pounds of beef, chicken, fish, stuff like that. But all the rest of the stuff, it goes to the pantry. And that's where also it's good barter stuff. If you find, if it does come to that bad, you can always take your extra salt, extra sugar, and barter that stuff off. Spices. Because when times are bad, people want to make their tomato soup taste more like something other than tomato soup because they've had it for 13 days straight. They'll want some spices. So spices are a good thing to have extras of. Because everyone eats and no one likes bland food. And if there's a supply disruption, that was hard to say. You want things that people want. That's the best thing to barter. And that's not silver, because only 3% of America has silver. So why the hell do you think you can barter silver? Sorry, no rant there. Nicholas staying awake because me and Constitutional Stacker jumped on him and we're like fucking have a good time ridiculing him and having fun at his expense, and he didn't get it, and that even made it more funny. And I think his feelings are hurt. That or Tully is live. He could be on there, and there's a couple others that are live. Yeah, I figured you'd like that one, 79. Oh, we had him going. It was over his love of pearl. His love of pearl necklaces. Constitutional wrote him on Facebook and let him know why we were having why we found it so humorous, and he didn't, because he didn't know. I don't know 79. I think we hurt his feelings though, but it was funny as shit. I mean, at that age, if you don't know, oh my God, that's just humorous. But yeah, we had a great time with him. Appreciate that he was there to have a good time with. I saw him today earlier in another chat. He's probably on Twitch chat though. That's some kick-ass shit. So, what is anyone else want to talk about? Some one day I'm going to learn to play the flute. Once I probably move to Alabama. Eve, get off me, girl. There we go. Let's see. There we go. So I got this song going. I had it for a while. Indian flute. Space Miner might like it. It's Arizona, New Mexico, obviously. I got it when I was rolling through there last time. I'd very much love to learn how to play it. All right, well, I'm going to call it an early night because I really do not like this YouTube Live. I prefer the StreamYard. I tried Restream, but I didn't find a way that I could post it to Facebook and X and YouTube, so I didn't want to use that. But JM told me about it. I looked into it and I couldn't figure it out. You want to talk about goldbacks? Space Miner wants to talk about goldbacks. Okay, this is what I'll say about goldbacks. The ratio of fiat to gold in the goldback make it not worth it, in my opinion. It's nice artwork, though. Yeah, there's not enough gold in the goldbacks for the price that they're asking. People are, and the technology exists. They've got two-dimensional scraping technology where you can take a 1,000-ounce bar and scrape a two-dimensional, 1 cell thick. You know how many freaking times you can go across a 1,000-ounce bar at 1 cell at a time? Multi-millions. And you can cut that, slab that off by weight and partial gram, laminate it, whatever. And you'd get more gold if you did that in a bill than if you did the existing goldbacks that I've seen, because the artwork's beautiful on those. And that's what you're paying for. You're not paying, it's not, the gold is not what you're paying for. You are paying for it, but you're paying extra for the artwork. A lot extra, in my opinion. So I'm not a real fan of them. Gerald, I might actually consider doing that, but I might have to get a better quality flute. I wouldn't want to do it. That was a flute that I bought on the side of the road somewhere in New Mexico, Arizona, at one of the touristy stops. I would want to get a more professional flute before I put money into it, but that would be that's a great thought. Yeah, it's just the value of the Goldbacks. The value is not there for the price. It doesn't meet the criteria in my mind to buy it. That's all there is to it. I'd rather have a raw chunk of ore of silver or gold. Yeah, there's some stuff coming. Actually, Gerald, next time we talk, remind me. How can you remind me? I'm not going to tell you until you call me. So, oh yeah, here's how I can recall it. How do I do this politely or eloquently, or neither of those is the right word? Just remind me, Gerald. Yeah, like 79 said, just remind me, man. You don't have to know about what. Just say, Neil, I'm going to remind you. And I'll be like, about what? And you'll be like, shit, you told me just to remind you. You didn't say about what. And I'll be like, oh, damn, I'm an idiot. Okay, yeah. Now, as far as looks, yeah, no, the artwork's beautiful on the Goldbacks, but they're not going to be used as a currency or a means of exchange. But yeah, no, they're a beautiful artwork on those things, and for artwork, like I would probably once I get my own house, I might do like a shadow box on the wall of the different states and the Goldbacks they have offered now as an art piece, because they are beautiful. So, Chad. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. We're down to 4 people, and I need to speak with Space Miner and Gerald. Call separately. I don't know what you guys' timing is, but I can. I mean, I don't know. Just call both of you. Just don't do it right after the chat. One, like Space Miner, call first. I guess if you've got time. If not, then Gerald call first. How are we gonna figure that out, Neil? Fucking psychic, brah. Telekinesis, brah. Smoke some more weed. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you for stopping by. 79, always a hoot, as my grandmother would say. It's always a hoot. It's always a hoot. Peace out. And that's all, folks. That's all, folks, as Porky Pig would say. You guys take care. Let me see where this end stream is at. And end stream's right there. Yeah, I always love when you guys come together. It's a fun time. Thank you for being here, guys. Good night. Have a great week ahead, too. Oh, look. You can see her. There's Platina. Platina. Let me turn the light on. Boom. There she is. Platina. All right, now I'm out of here. She likes my smell. I was wearing that sweatshirt earlier.